Hi, y'all. Today I just want to share a testimony about how God delivered me from the conspiracy of some people at work, including my own boss at that time. 4 years ago, before I moved to Germany, I was working in a flour mill company in Kenya as a merchandiser. How I got to that place was I used to do promo jobs for the company. So then, when they needed to hire someone, my supervisor knew me because, of course, I was a diligent person. I was also disciplined, and definitely God gave me favor because I was definitely not the most hardworking person in that company or the most qualified. There were more people who are more qualified than I was. So God literally just gave me favor, and my boss, who was my supervisor when I was the promoter, reached out to me and told me we are actually hiring in our company. And interestingly, I didn't actually have a really defined relationship with this supervisor, and she did have other people that were closer to her. This is how I know it was the hand of God on my life. So she reaches out to me and she tells me, don't tell anyone, don't share with anyone, just apply, because they didn't advertise it publicly. So she just had me on her heart and she told me. So I applied for the job and they called me for the interview. I mean, it was just casual. Again, the person who interviewed me was my supervisor, who gave me the email and the job description to apply, and another lady who we used to do promos with. But the lady was promoted into to assistant HR at that time while I was still in university, because she finished earlier than me. But she also clearly had the favor of God on her life. So they are the ones who interviewed me and the director of the company. Then afterwards, they told me they would get back to me, and then later they sent me a message, and the assistant HR, we kind of had a personal relationship, but like not very tight. We were just people who got along well, and we also went together in university. And like I mentioned, we used to do promos together. She texted me and she told me, unfortunately, because it was a position where they were replacing someone who went on maternity leave, the director needed someone with experience. And they told me, in case of anything, if anything comes up, they will be telling me. So that's what happened. I didn't really expect the job. I didn't expect them to call me back, because that was the very same time that I was also on my journey to come abroad. I did my exams, and I told God, whatever your will is for me, I want it. If your will is that I go to Germany, then don't give me this job, because I don't want to disappoint my supervisor. She put so much effort into helping me, and I don't want to start it and finish along the way, like without finishing the whole time. So, well, when the exams came out, I didn't pass as well. But fast forward now, I got the job. To cut the long story short, I got this job and I was working there, and it was like a probation period. So it was a 3-month contract. The thing is, they had to create a position for me. They had to create a position for me, and that's how they called me in, because they had taken the other girl. Now, when towards the ending of my contract, it was probably a month into ending, the contract was about to end, probably in June. I don't remember clearly, but probably June or July, but most probably July. This lady who was on maternity leave finished her leave and she was supposed to come back. So of course they say that whoever was replacing the lady who went on maternity was the one who was supposed to leave the work you know. And then the director started arguing that I was the one who replaced the lady who went on maternity, when he clearly said that they needed someone who was more experienced, because he got along with the other girl. They had relationship, like, I'm not talking about romantic relations, I'm just saying they had a good relationship. They were like friends, so to say. But for me, I was just doing my job very well, and just with excellency, but I was staying on my lane. I was not interacting carelessly because I was guarding my heart. I acknowledge that people at work are not my friends, they are just workmates. So the director, apparently they were now internally, now the director and my boss, who was the head of the marketing at that time, and the assistant HR and the HR were arguing. Makio, all this time I was not aware that people were actually arguing in the company concerning my issues. And of course, they were going to make a decision without my consent. And this decision would have been against me and not in my favor, because the director kept insisting that I replaced the lady who went for maternity, and the other girl's position was the one that was created. A few weeks into it, now the argument had continued among them, and I never knew until I got the visa. I went for the interview at the German embassy, and then I got my visa in June. And then I had to tell my supervisor, like, early, a month before before the contract ended, like telling her I will not be renewing my contract. And the boss was so shocked. I mean, they say that when my immediate boss, went to tell the director, he was so shocked, because apparently he was planning to make a contest between me and the other girl, who obviously the other girl had more experience. For me, it was my first time doing the merchandising job. This other girl had done the merchandising job for more than 10 years. For someone like me, the contest that they were even talking about, I didn't even know what that meant. So obviously this girl would have defeated me, and I would have been devastated if I was laid off. And then after I told them and everyone knew I was leaving the company, that's when now the inner circle people started opening up to me and telling me, this is actually what director was planning against you, and we were really fighting for you, but he was really adamant about it. And they started praising God with me. They started thanking God with me. They were like, your God is so good. He has helped you. He has shamed him, He has shamed the director, because they could not understand. Like, even the contracts were so clear that my position was the one that was created, but he was still insisting that it was the other girl. So they were happy for me. I was happy for me. And I was just like, we never really know the hidden battles that God fights for us. Today, I just had a feeling to share this testimony. And I'm using this as a contact to declare that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And any conspiracy risen against you, the people that are conspiring against you behind your back, they will go down in defeat, and the fire of God will consume their evil work. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Today, I'm in this land. This is my 4th year in Germany. God delivered me from the shame. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for me. No evil touched me. Praise Jesus. Yo, I love this Jesus. Have a good night.